Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. While you were in the waiting room, we asked that you guys use Google Chrome. Are you guys using Google Chrome? Make sure that you are using Google Chrome for this session. Caitlin, I can't see you. Madison, Aubrey,
I
Jody.
accidentally dropped my computer, so my camera doesn't work.
Oh my gosh. How did you do that, Caitlin? We'll talk about that a little bit later. I want to welcome all of our volunteers. We see some new faces today. If you are volunteering today and this is your first time, Miss Candace, are you volunteering today, right? Miss Cecily, is that your referral? Hey, you got to get you a shirt, Miss Candace.
Yes, it is.
Oh, y'all, I'm so excited today. We are having our session facilitated by Miss. Please let me know if I'm pronouncing this incorrect. Is it Temi?
Yeah, it's Temi.
Miss Temi. Miss Temi is all the way in the United Kingdom. Like, oh my God, like that is so exciting, so exciting. So I'm going to turn it over to her so we can get started on time and so that we can get you guys out of here. I know you're going to have a fabulous session because I love her videos. Now, let me tell you this, we can't eat breakfast on camera. So if you are eating breakfast, Miss Kelly Jones, turn your camera off until you're done, okay? So if you are eating breakfast right now, turn your cameras off and then come back. Don't stay off, come back, okay? All right, so make sure you have your first and last name so I can take attendance, and I'm gonna let Miss Temi have it. Welcome, Miss Temi.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Denithia, for having me here. Did I pronounce your name right?
Denithia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Denithia. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really, really excited to teach all of you girls today. So what I'm gonna do first of all is just check that, well, first of all, could you please type in the chat if you don't have Google Chrome installed? Just want to double check because we will be using that to code today. So if you don't have it, can you just type no in the chat? And whilst that's going, I'll set up my screen. I think, okay. Okay, so it looks like, I think it looks like everyone has Chrome there. I can't see anything in the chat at the moment. Okay, so if that's the case, then I will make a start. Okay, so hi everyone. Again, I'm really, really happy to be here with you all, and I'm really excited for today's workshop, and I hope you all are too. So just a really quick introduction to me then. I'm Temi, and I live and work in the UK as a software developer. So I basically just code when I'm at work. That's what I do for a job. And so today, I'm sure you're all aware, we'll be learning about a coding language called JavaScript. And I'm really interested to know if any of you have heard or used JavaScript before. So can you type in the chat if you've used JavaScript before? I'm really interested to see that. It'd be nice to see. Let's see what people are saying. Yeah, you've heard of it, you've heard of it. Okay, that's great. Well, if you haven't, that's fine, because I'm going to start from the very beginning, from the extreme beginning. I'm even going to explain what coding is at a very basic level. So don't worry if you don't know anything about JavaScript. Okay, so. Right, so today I'll be teaching you girls about variables and strings. Strings are a type of variable. And I'm going to also teach you about math operators. And I hope by the end of this, you'll have a better understanding of what these are and how you can use them. And throughout today as well, I have set up some challenges. So I hope you're ready to get your brains working, get them moving, and try and solve some problems too. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so I've been through this. Everyone seems to have Chrome, that's fine. And now I will take you briefly through what is coding. I have a video I want to show you. Let me stop sharing that and share my other screen. I think it's that one. Okay. So what I need to do is share. Oh yeah, okay, I think it's this. Right, can everyone see? Let's see. Don't know if I'm sharing the correct. Okay, it should be this one, share. Right, can everyone see my screen?
Not yet. It's
Not yet. Okay.
sharing now. It just hasn't come up yet. Okay, there you go.
Okay, great. I'm gonna see if, and just test if you can hear it. So can I have a thumbs up if you can hear it when I press play?
No.
Okay, I might have to and do it this way instead. Hopefully I get this to work. Okay, let's try now. Can I have a thumbs up if you can hear the video?
Computer coding for kids.
Yes, you may have to turn it up a little bit louder though.
Great. Okay, let me turn it up. Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Computer coding for kids. What is a computer program? A computer program is a set of instructions that a computer follows to complete a task. Coding, or programming, means writing the step-by-step instructions that tell the computer what to do. We are surrounded by computer programs. Many of the devices and gadgets we use each day are controlled by them. These machines all follow step-by-step instructions written by a computer programmer. Cell phones. Programs allow you to make a phone call or send text messages. When you search for a contact, a program finds the correct phone number. Computer software. Everything a computer does, from browsing the internet to writing documents or playing music, works because of code written by a computer programmer. Games. Consoles are just another type of computer, and all the games that run on them are programs. All the graphics, sounds, and controls are written in computer code. Washing machines. Washing machines are programmed to follow different cycles. Computer code controls how hot the water is and how long the wash takes. Cars. In some cars, computer programs monitor the speed, temperature, and amount of fuel in the tank. Computer programs can even help control the brakes to keep people safe.
Okay, so I hope some of you may have learned something from that video. Let me do this again. Right. I'll take you back to my presentation now. Okay, can you all see my screen? Can I have a thumbs up if you can see it? Great, fantastic, okay. Right, so we've been through what is coding, so I hope some of you have learned something from that. Okay, so now let's move into JavaScript. So JavaScript is actually one of the 3 really important coding languages that are used to make websites. So the other 2 languages are HTML and CSS. I'm not sure if any of you have coded in that before or if you're aware of it, but HTML and CSS actually make a website look nice. So they control kind of the colors, the shapes on the website as well. And the role of JavaScript is actually to make some of these websites come to life. So for example, if you were to go onto YouTube and search a video and maybe you click a link, so JavaScript actually allows you to be able to click that link and it will take you to a different page. So that's kind of what JavaScript does. So I'll introduce you to variables now. And you can think of a variable as something that holds information, which can be in the form of numbers or even words. So this could be your name, your age, your favorite food, or even your birthday. But how do we define these variables? So variables are defined with the keyword var, and you can see that highlighted or circled in red. So that keyword var is what begins to define a variable. And then what you see underlined in orange is actually the variable name. And this name can be anything. There are a few rules, which I'll explain to you a bit later. And then underlined in blue, you can see here on the right side of the equal sign is actually the value. So until you give your variable a value, so whether that's numbers, also called an integer, or some text, which is in the form of a string, until you give your variable a value, then it's undefined. It doesn't contain anything, okay? But I'll get a bit more into this later on in case you're a bit confused right now, which is okay. So I mentioned recently, just now, about naming variables, and there are some rules. So you actually can't name a variable with so you can't start with a number when you're naming a variable. So you can't have one dog is equal to something. It has to start with either, here you can see a lowercase letter, so it can start with a letter, or it can start with an underscore, or even a $sign if you want, okay? So just to go back to this in case you're confused, what's not allowed when you're naming your variables is to start with a number, or as you can see at the second example here, is you can't have a space in your variable name. So you can't have var first space name. If you want to call your variable first name, then you need to remove the space and have it all as one word. So just keep that in mind when you're naming your variables. So I've shown you variables where you have var and say my age would be equal to a number, and that number is an integer. But here with strings, what you can actually do is you can have a variable equal to some text. And how you would normally type this in and code this is your text has to be in between either single or double quotes, as you can see here. You can use either single or double, but just make sure you don't mix it up. So you can't have var fruit is equal to single quote apple and then close it with a double quote. You have to be consistent, okay? Okay, that might be a little bit, a lot of information. Can I just see in the chat to make sure that everyone kind of understands so far? Can I just see a yes or a thumbs up? Just to make sure that you're following along with me. Okay, great. So now actually I'm going to go to my console and show you some examples before I move on. Okay, so what I need to do is to stop sharing and then share here. Okay, great. Okay, can I just get a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Great. Okay, so now we're actually going to go into Chrome and start playing around with some code. So what I'm going to need you guys to do is to open a new tab in Chrome. I'll make sure everyone's at the same speed. So once you've opened a new tab, what I want you to do is to right click. And once you've right clicked, you're going to click Inspect. And it should take you to a page like this one. Okay. So I'm going to wait to make sure everyone's at the same stage, because it's important that you do get this page. So can I have some comments? Can you just comment yes if you're able to get to this page, please? Okay, I'm seeing some yeses. Yes, okay. And if you can't get to this page, just type no. That might be easier so I can help you out if you're not on this page.
We also have a lot of volunteers on that can assist you as well.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay, so it seems like you've all got this page up. That's great. So it might look a little bit confusing at first, but don't worry. we're only going to be using this console tab here at the top. So if you click console, it should take you to something like this, just a blank screen. But someone says no. I think Evangeline is having issues. So if maybe someone could help her out, that would be great. Okay, so once you do get onto this page, if you could click the console tab, that would be good. Someone else doesn't, I think Jody as well doesn't have access.
Yes, is there a link that you want to put in the chat that they can go to, or
so first of all, if you don't have access, can you open Chrome and just go to the Google homepage? I'll close this and open it again. So if you go to the Google homepage, yeah. Once you're on the Google homepage, then you just need to right click like I'm doing here. And then you're gonna go ahead and select inspect. And it should take you to something like this. And then once you're here, you're gonna go ahead and click the console. Okay. I think it seems like people have got it now. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to assume that everyone's on the right page now, so I can move along. If not, try and speak to one of the volunteers who should be able to help you out, because it is important that you get onto this page. Okay, so if you remember some of the things I was telling you before about variables, I told you one of the first rules was that you can name it anything you want, but it can't start with a number, and you can't have a space in your variable name. So for example, if I wanted to create a variable like with my dog's age or something, what I can't do is type, that's not allowed because it starts with a number. Okay. Another thing which I'm not allowed to do is say, if I wanted to make a variable that holds my name, I can't say first name. That's not allowed either. Okay. So I hope so far that makes sense. And just as a bit of a tip here, if you're working in your console, for you guys, it will look like this. I want you to work on this page. If you're working in your console and say you have a lot of errors and you want to get rid of it, a good thing you can do is just type clear, open bracket, close bracket, and enter, and everything will delete. So if you're following along, if you have your console open, maybe you can try and just type var one dog, which is not correct. Like I told you, you can't start a variable name with a number. Semicolon as well, enter. You should get an error. And then to get rid of that error, just clear, open bracket, close bracket. So can everyone try that for me? Can you type, it might be easier. So can you type no if you're not able to do that in the console, so I know if you're struggling? Okay, so it looks like everyone's got the hang of it. Okay, that's great. So that's the first rule. So you can't start a variable name with a number. Great. Okay. And another thing is that another rule is that variable names are usually written in something called camel case, just because it makes everything easier to read. And this means if you have a variable name that consists of more than one word, then the first letter of that word has to be lowercase, and the first letter of your second word has to be uppercase. And don't worry if that sounds confusing. I'm going to show you what I mean now. So for example, so if I want to create a variable of my age, I would say var, because that's a key word if you remember how you define a variable. I would say my age, like that. So you see here how the first letter of the first word is lowercase, and then the first letter of the second word is uppercase. That's usually how we name variables, just because it's easier to read that way. Okay, and then if I just want to clear, again, clear, open bracket, close bracket. So can I have everyone try that for me in their console? And can you type yes if you're able to do that? So I'll do it again so you can see. Just say var my age, semicolon. Don't forget your semicolons, those are important. And enter. So if you can do that, can you just type yes in the chat? I'll give you some time to maybe do that. It might be a bit fast. Okay. Great. Okay, that's really good. Looks like, okay, that's good. Looks like you girls are getting the hang of it, which is good. Fast learners. Okay. Great. Okay. So we're going to clear that again. Okay, so let's just go over it again in case it's a bit fast. First rule, you cannot start your variable name with a number. Second rule is you write in camel case. So I'll do another example here. Var, what can I say? My name instead. My name is. Again, you see, so the first letter of this word is lowercase. The next one is uppercase and then uppercase. Just makes it easier to read, that's all. Okay, clear again. Great. So moving on to the third rule now, which I'm sure you've heard me say quite a bit now. When writing your code, you should always end your code with a semicolon. Sometimes with JavaScript, you won't have to, but just to make things easier, I found just always put a semicolon after you write a piece of code. It just makes things easier. So again, you would just say, I'm sure you all have the hang of it now, but my age, semicolon, my name, semicolon, my dog's name, semicolon. So don't forget your semicolons whenever you're writing code. Those are really, really, really important. Most of the time, if you have an error in your code, also known as a bug, it might be a spelling mistake or also you're missing a semicolon. So please keep that in mind. Okay, I'm gonna clear this. Get rid of that. Okay. So I think there's something else I forgot to mention. Yeah, so JavaScript is case sensitive. So make sure you watch out for your uppercase and lowercase. If you make a variable with your age, again, I'm going to go back to this example, and you define it like this, then make sure when you're calling it later, you're not defining it like this, my age, like this. It's not the same thing. So make sure that you just look out for your spelling. It's important, and make sure that you, wherever you've defined an uppercase letter or lowercase, make sure that stays the same. That's also a very common error. Just gonna clear this. Okay, and I think the other, let me just check. Okay, right, so that's fine. So we've been over some of the rules now, and let me just take you through some more terminology before I set you up with your first challenge. Okay, so we've seen variables. I've showed you how to name them and all the rules and stuff. So I'm going to show you now how you can actually assign a value to your variable. Okay, so if you think back to the PowerPoint I showed you before, the slide where I showed you that in order to define your variable, you use the keyword var, then you give it a name, and then you have an equal sign, and after that equal sign, you have a value. Do you remember that? If not, I can show my screen again. Actually, I'll just type it here. So to give your variable a value, you would say var my age is 23, semicolon. So var is your keyword. My age is the name that you give to your variable, and then equals 23, semicolon. So here, I've given this variable a value, okay? So if I just type var, if I just say var my dog, semicolon, this doesn't have any value because there's no equals and then a value on the other side. Does that make sense?
Miss Temi, do you mind slowing down just a tad?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, let me go over that again.
Okay.
So I can clear my, if you want to clear your errors, just type clear, open bracket, close bracket, and click enter.
I have a question.
Yep.
So when I go on mine and I click the inspect and I go to the sources, mine doesn't have variable on them.
So what you want to do is, maybe because I'm working in sources. So go into inspect. I think the best place for you girls to work is in the console. I was just working in sources just because I had my notes there. So
Okay.
when you type console, and what did you mean when you say that there's no variable there?
Oh, like on the sources, when I clicked it, I didn't have the variable in the challenge one like you did.
Oh, no. Sorry. These are my notes. So that's why it might be a bit confusing. Where I
Okay.
want you girls to work is in the console here. So there's a few tabs up here. Can you see those tabs?
Yes.
Great. So where I want you to work is in the console.
Okay.
Yeah. And then here you can type your variable. You can say my age. You can say maybe it's equal to 10, semicolon, enter. And then you can see your age, semicolon, is 10. Does that make sense? So I want you to work in this tab. Yeah. Okay, great. So let me go over that point again in case I'm going too quickly. So I've spoken to you about the rules of how to name your variables, what you can and can't do. I've told you that you need to have a semicolon at the end whenever you're typing any piece of code. And now I'm going to show you how to assign values to your variables, because up until Evangeline, do you have a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I right click, I don't have an inspection page. It doesn't say inspection. Actually, it's blocked for some reason.
It's locked. So when you right click, you can't see this inspect?
I can't see it, but I can't click it.
Oh. Are you on Chrome?
Yes, I can only click view source page.
Are you on a school computer?
No, because it's my personal computer.
I think someone said try control shift I or F12.
I've tried both.
Is it okay if she shares her screen?
Yeah.
So that we can see what she's doing?
Yeah, so I'm gonna stop sharing, and can you share your screen?
No, I'm on a different device while doing this.
Are you on a laptop or a tablet? What are you on, Evangeline?
I'm using my iPad.
That's the issue, I think, because you're on the iPad. Would that have any difference, Temi?
I'm not too sure. I've never tried it on an iPad, but possibly, maybe it's because she's not on a laptop. Yeah, can you try on your laptop maybe and see if that works?
Laptop.
So right click.
That's why she's on an iPad. She's going to be very limited on what she can do as far as looking at the inspection and stuff like that.
Wait.
So can you right click and click inspect?
I am right clicking. Nothing's happening.
On your laptop?
On my laptop.
Are you in Chrome on your laptop?
Yes.
Are you using an external mouse? Do you have an extra mouse that you can use? Because it might be your mouse is not allowing you to do so, if that makes sense.
No. Any extra mice my mom and dad use to work. And I can't bother it.
Denithia, do we have access to set up a breakout room where?
Oh, there you
me
go.
and-
Yeah. There it is.
There it is. Oh, but it's grayed out.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I can set up a breakout room.
Yeah, that would be.
Evangeline, I'm going to go into a breakout room with you, okay? So we can try to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anyone else who's also having issues with the inspect? Can you just type in the chat box so we know and you can get that sorted? Okay, no? Okay, that's fine. Okay, let me, okay, so let me,
You have to go back to sharing your screen. Okay, there you go.
yeah, okay, great. Okay, so we've been over the rules. So everyone, please make sure you're back in this console tab here. If you see me on this page, don't think you're doing anything wrong. These are just my teaching notes, but you should be in this tab here in the console. And remember, if you want to clear your work, just type clear, open bracket, close bracket, because I know some of you are having issues with that, and enter, and that should clear everything. Okay. So we've been over some of the rules of variables, and now what I want to show you is how to assign an integer or a string to a variable. So I'm going to show you how to give your variable a value. Because remember when I showed you before in my presentation that your variable needs a keyword, it needs a name. So my name, you need to give it equals and then give it a value. So you can give it a value with some text, which would be also known as a string. So now when I type my name, it has a value. So basically, if you don't have an equal sign and either some text or a number on the other side of your variable, then it's undefined. It doesn't have a value. So make sure when you are defining your variables, you give it either a number value known as an integer or a text value known as a string. And remember, I told you as well that when you are writing your strings, you can either do it with double quotes, like I have here, or you can decide to do it with single quotes if you want. So you can say, my mom's name, you can say is single quote, semicolon, don't forget your semicolon, enter. So you can either use a double quote if you want, or a single quote, but just don't mix them up. So you can't have one single quote and one double quote. You have to keep it the same. And then you can clear if I want to get rid of it. So I want you girls to try and define a variable of your name. And yeah, wait. So I want you to say var my name is equal to, assign a value, open quotes. So it can either be double or single, and write your name there. Mine is Temi. Close the quotes, semicolon, don't forget your semicolon, enter. And then when you've clicked enter, you should be able to see your name again by typing my name. You can see it here. You can click. Don't forget the semicolon, enter. So you should be able to see it here. So can everyone try and do this for me, please? So create a variable, give it the name, my name. Don't forget camel case. So lowercase, uppercase, equal to, have your quotes either single or double, close it, and semicolon, enter. Once you've entered, I want you to call that again. And again, don't forget your semicolon. So can everyone try that for me now, please? And type no in the chat if you're struggling or if you need help. So I need to know. So I'll give you a few minutes to work on that. Let's see. Oh, someone said they still can't clear. Oh, no, it's open and closed. Oh, yeah. Okay, so can everyone try that for me? Try and do what I've done here on the screen and tell me, just type no if you have issues. I'll give you girls a few minutes. Make this a bit bigger.
I think that's better with it being bigger.
Okay, yeah, might be
Easier
difficult
to
to see before.
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'll give you girls a few minutes. I don't want to go too fast. And just have your keyword variable var. Make sure you name it camel case. So lowercase here, uppercase here. Have your equals and give it a value. So you can either use single or double quotes, and don't forget your semicolon. And then I want you to call it later on. So just type your variable name and then semicolon and click enter. And you should be able to see your name here in quotes. So a few more minutes. Okay. So if you've already done it and you've created your variable and you've called it, can you type yes in the chat, please, so I know? Okay. We put our names where? So you put your name in, so you need to give your variable a value. So to give it a value, what you're going to do is you're going to write the keyword var. That's how we define variables, remember? So var, you're going to name your variable. So you could say my name, or you could say my name is. Let's do my name is equal, and then whatever your name is. So you would say Jody, semicolon. You can either use double quotes here, or you can use single quotes if you want to. And don't forget your semicolon. So instead of Temi, you just put what your name is. So you're going to have your keyword var, your variable name. You can name it whatever you want. It can be my name is, or just name. It's up to you. Don't forget your equals to give your variable a value. And then you're going to have either a single quote or a double quote, and put your name in here, Jody, and then semicolon to end the statement, to end your code. And then you're going to click enter. And once you've done this, if you want to then call your variable again to see the value, you're going to type the name of your variable. So if you called it my name is, like I have here, you're going to type my name is, semicolon, don't forget, enter, and then you should see your name here. And then if you want to clear your screen, clear, open bracket, close bracket, enter. So can you type no in the chat if you weren't able to do that, and if you need some help? Because
yes, can you hold for 1 second? There was someone that came in late. So okay, when they go to the Google page, you want them to right click?
So here, I'll show you again.
Okay.
So you're on this page, the home page now. So what I want you to do is right click. And once you've done that, you can scroll down to the bottom of the list, and you're going to see something here called inspect. And then what I want you to do is click this inspect. And it should take you to a page like this, where you're going to have a lot of tabs at the top. But where I want you to work today is in the console here. So I want you to go ahead and click console, and you should have a clear page here. So let me just show you that again. Home page of Google, right click, scroll all the way down, inspect, and then you're going to have a bunch of tabs up here, but I want you to work in the console tab today. Was she, where's the chat? Oh, there we go. Okay. Was she able to access the?
Yeah,
Okay.
let me check. Okay, we're good.
Great.
We just have to go back to where you were so that she'll know what she needs to type in.
What she needs to do. Okay, great. So this will be useful if anyone struggled as well. Okay. So what we're working on now is variables, and variables are going to hold your data. So it can hold anything. It can be some text. So it could be your name. It could be some numbers, also known as integers. So what you're going to want to do is I want you to create a variable and give it a value. So what we were doing is you can start off with your name. So you can create a variable. First of all, what you're going to want to do is type the word var. This is a keyword which you always need when you're going to define your variable. So that's var space. And then you're going to give your variable a name. So you can write my name. You're going to say equals so that you can give it a value. And then to write some text, you can't just write text like this. You can't put your name as like Temi, that. You need to have it in quotes. So you can have it in single quotes like this. Semicolon, always use a semicolon to end your code, or you can have it in double quotes like this. So if you check the chat, I've just sent you just a template for how you can name your variables, okay? And then you're going to click enter. And then what I want you to do is to call your variable back so you can see that value, you can see your name. So you're going to go ahead and type whatever name you gave your variable. So for me, I called it my name. So I can just type my name, semicolon, always use a semicolon at the end of your code, enter, and you're going to go ahead and see your name here. For those that just joined, does that make sense? Or do you want me to go over it again?
Type in the chat that you're good, or either put a reaction in your window that says thumbs up.
Good.
Okay, good, Layla.
Okay, that's great. So before I move on, can you just type no if you're confused and you want me to go over something again? I want to make sure you understand before I move on to the challenge. So just type no if you're stuck and you need some help. Okay, so Samaya. Okay, so can you maybe type or let me know what it is you want me to go over again? Samaya?
Yes, I'm here.
Yep. So can you tell me what it is you need some help with?
Yes, I can't figure out which line you're on because I messed up something.
Which line?
Yes.
So let me go ahead and clear this so it's clearer to you. Okay, so did you understand using this keyword var to start naming your variable?
Yes.
Okay, and then if you want to name your variable, my name is, remembering to use camel case here, lowercase, uppercase.
I think she missed that part. She may not have been here for that.
Oh, okay. So after we've given the variable a name, then we're going to go ahead and do equals because we need to give it a value. Otherwise, it's just going to be empty, right? So then you're going to go ahead and type your name. Okay. Semicolon, enter. Was that part okay for you?
Yes.
Okay, great. And now what I wanted you to do was call that variable back. So to do that, you're going to write your variable name here underneath. So you're going to say, my name is, semicolon, that's important, enter, and you should see your name. Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay.
So do you understand it now? Is all good?
Yes, I understand it.
Great, fantastic. Okay. Is there anyone else who doesn't understand? Please tell me in the chat, just type no, because I'm going to give you a challenge soon. So I need to know that you're okay with this. Okay. And I will be providing the slides afterwards. So if you want to have some notes, I will be sending this to Denathia so she can send this to you. Okay, so it looks like everyone's found it okay so far. So let me go ahead and I think this is, yeah, so, yeah, okay, that's fine. So let me go ahead and go to my presentation, okay. Right. Oh no, it's the wrong screen. Sometimes Zoom can be a bit. Okay, great. Okay, so just going over the rules again before we go into a challenge. So JavaScript is case sensitive, which means watch out for where you're putting your uppercase and lowercase letters. Make sure to check your spelling and make sure that the name that you're going to call is the same. So don't mix up uppercase and lowercase letters. That's really important. The second thing is that your code should end with a semicolon. Okay, that's really important. I think the third topic I'll touch on later, that's fine. And if you want to clear your console, you're going to want to use clear, open bracket, close bracket, and type enter, okay? Right, so I'm gonna move on now to your first challenge. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. I'm hoping you girls can get this. Okay, so challenge one is, I don't know if that's, yeah, okay. Challenge one is I want you to create a variable for your age. Remember that here you'll have strings. So you should have var my age is equal to open string. Your age will be a number. So that will be an integer. So you'll have var my age is equal to, and then you'll put a number there. And then make sure to put a semicolon again. Semicolons are important, and enter, okay? So your age, that will be a number. Your name, that will be a string. So with strings, we use quotes. So it'll be a double quote or a single quote, okay? The third one is I want you to create a variable for the number of books you've read this year. And if you can't remember, then you can just use any number, that's fine. So 3 things, a variable for your age, that will be a number, a variable for your name, a string. So you're going to need to use double quotes or single quotes. And the third thing is the number of books you've read this year. So for that one, that's going to be a number as well. And don't forget to use your semicolons. Those are really important. So does everyone understand the what I'm asking from you? If you don't, just type in the chat to say no, so that I can go ahead and explain it again. Where's the chat? Can you just type no if you don't understand the task? Okay, so it looks like, oh yeah, so it looks like everybody understands. Okay, so I'm gonna give you girls some time. Shall we say it's 5 or it's 10 minutes, okay? Or is that too long, do you think?
What do you think, Amanda?
I think 10 minutes is good.
Okay. Great, fantastic. So I'm gonna give you girls 10 minutes to work on this challenge, and then afterwards I'm gonna see how you get on. So I'll keep this open.
Where do you want them to type? Do you want it in the console or in the chat?
That's a good point. I was just gonna say the console because it's good for them to get used to it. And then once you've done that, you can actually maybe send your answers in the chat. Is that good, do you think?
Well, do you want them, they can share their screen.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are putting, I see Aubrey's putting hers in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Great.
So I would say use it in the console, then call the variable so that you're getting used to calling variables back up.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Amanda, actually. Yeah, I like that. So you can do it in your console, call it back, and then maybe copy and paste that into the chat so I can see.
Yeah, I want to see.
Yeah, great. So I'm giving you girls 10 minutes to see if you can get that done, and then I can help anyone out who needs some help along the way. So yeah, I'm seeing some good answers here.
What Temi said, Temi sounds so excited.
That's because I'm refreshing my memory on how to use JavaScript, because I'm so used to coding stuff with blocks and not really having to know, like typing out the variables and stuff like that, because in block coding, it's already done kind of for you. So you're just dropping and dragging. So this is great.
Isn't this cool? It's so cool. I think that for the amount of years that we've been doing this, the girls that have come through have pretty much just been using block code. So now this is that progression that they needed to see. Just like what you said, yeah, they need to learn how to write the code. This is so cool.
And learn the keyboard.
That too, because I know that, but some of them might have a hard time as far as like, because I can type without looking at the keyboard, and I can talk to people and type at the same time. So, oh, hold on.
All right, Kellen, Addison.
Good, seeing some good answers. Okay, looks like you girls are getting the hang of it, which is good. Very, very fast learners. So very, very impressed.
Miss Temi, can you, while we're waiting for the challenge to finish, can you tell the girls in what ways they can use JavaScript or how you use it on your job?
Yeah, so you can use JavaScript, if you remember at the very beginning of my presentation, you can use it, normally people use it with languages such as HTML and CSS as well. So those three in combination are used to build websites sometimes. So HTML normally gives a website the structure, and then CSS is what kind of makes it look a lot better, a lot prettier. So, you can give it nice colors, you can give your text a nice font, all that kind of stuff. And then JavaScript, normally that kind of makes your page a bit more animated. So it's all the behavior and all the action that goes on. So if you were to click a link and that takes you to another page, then that's kind of what JavaScript is responsible for. The other two is mainly HTML and CSS, is to make your page, your website look nice. Yeah, so I think web development is something that JavaScript is really, really good for, and that's normally what it's used for. But in my job, I don't really use JavaScript. I use Java. And even though those two names sound quite familiar, they don't have anything to do with each other. Something I learned quite late, to be honest. But yeah, I would say JavaScript is quite a fun language. I like it. Outside of work, when I'm working on like personal projects, I like to use JavaScript. When I'm like building web applications and stuff like that. So there's a lot you can do with it, which is really good. So I do like the language. Ooh, I'm seeing some good answers. Okay. Great. It looks like everyone's, yeah, it looks like everyone's got this. It's good.
Do you have to do the number of books you have read this year?
You don't have to, but it would be good practice. And if you don't know the number of books, just make it up. But it's good practice. So I would say if you have time, if you finish, then I would go ahead
Well,
and do it.
I did all 3. I was just saying, can I do another one?
Oh
Like,
yeah, of
okay.
course. Yeah,
Come
of
on,
course.
Layla.
And if anyone's having issues, just type no in the chat or type that you need some help, because it's good if you understand it, but if you don't, then we can help you out. So that's what's really
Good,
important.
Maya. You caught up well.
Great.
And is it Adia or is it Adia? How do you pronounce your name?
It's Adia.
Adia, okay. Adia, you've been here a couple of times. Welcome back.
That looks good, Samaya. Just as something you could do next time, like I said, you might have missed it though. A good thing to do is when you're naming your variables, use camel case. So if I were to take your example now, that would be, let me type in the chat, var number of books. 10. So that would look like this. You see I've typed into the chat. So a good thing to do is if you have a really long variable name, the first letter of that name should be lowercase, and the first letter of the next word should be uppercase. And then you do that throughout, because it makes it a lot easier to read than if everything is lowercase. Does that make sense, Samaya?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah, great. It just makes things easier to read if you do it like that. And that's called, I'll write that in the text. So that's called camel case. Yeah, that's the naming convention in JavaScript. Okay, so again, if anyone's having trouble, just type in the chat, just type you need help or type no. That way I can help you out, because we're gonna have some more challenges. So it would be good if you understand this now when we move on. Okay, I'll give you guys a few more minutes and then I will move on.
Did everyone get an opportunity to put theirs in the chat? I think I haven't seen some people. Evangeline, did you get yours in the chat? Okay. Zion, you still working? Mackenzie, did you get yours in the chat? Make sure you all do the challenge. Oh, there was a question. Aubrey asks, how do you call it back? Oh, I think I'm going to answer that. Type in your variable's name. Okay, I think I'm
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so to call it back, just type in your variable name and make sure you have that semicolon. Just, it's good practice to do that.
Okay. Good, Mackenzie. Evangeline.
Well done, Addison. That looks good.
Layla, there you go. Zion. Good job, y'all. Good job.
Well done, everyone. These are some good answers. Okay, just a few more minutes. That's good. And I can see you girls are using camel case as well. So that's good. It's good to see you're learning. Okay. Okay, don't forget, if anyone needs help, just type in the chat. I want to make sure everyone can get get most of the challenges done today. So, okay, nice job, Evangeline. That's good. Okay, great. So once again, if anyone wasn't able to do the challenge, just type in the chat so I know before moving on.
Latavia said hers is wrong.
Okay, so it looks like, I think everyone's answered now. Oh yeah, I missed that actually. Yeah, so if I take you back to, I'm not sure if my screen is sharing. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you can see with a string, normally a string, you indicate a string with the quotes. So you can use the single quotes here or the double quotes and make sure you have that semicolon. So this is how you define a string here. But then when you're using numbers, also known as integers, it would be like, is it this one? This here instead. So numbers are just like this, but when you have words, make sure you have those quotes, so either single or double. And don't forget, you need your keyword var, you need the name of your variable, which you're going to go ahead and use camel case, the equals to give that variable a value. You can see underlined here in blue, and that semicolon. Okay. Right.
Come on, Kellen.
Okay. Great. So it looks like everyone's answered that, which is good. Well done. I'm very, very impressed. Okay. So before I move on to the next section, any questions? You can ask me anything about what we've done so far. If you're confused, any questions, you can either type or you can unmute your mic. No? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give you girls a 5-minute break now because you've been at it for almost an hour. Do you think that's okay, Denathia?
Sure.
Okay, great. So a 5-minute break. So at, I don't know what the time is. Were you?
It's 11:05. I'll set the timer.
Okay.
I can set the
Yeah.
timer.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, ladies, take a quick restroom, water break really quick and bring it back and we'll be at the home stretch.
Miss Temi, you
Yeah.
have a Instagram page, is that correct? I think I follow you. Let me go check.
She does those
Yes,
cool
I do.
videos, Latavia.
Hmm?
She does the cool videos.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, great. So I hope everyone had a good break. You had some water, some snacks. Okay, so last chance to ask any questions about what we've just done. I want to make sure before I move on, you girls have understood. So if you have any questions, type them in the chat or just unmute your mic and ask me. And if there's no questions, I'll move on. Okay. Nope. Okay, so great then. So now is my screen still sharing? I can't see the.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, great. So now I'm gonna move on to math operators, and we're gonna just take a look at some of the basics. Okay, so the 5 most common math operators are here on the screen, like you can see. So the first one is the assignment operator, which is also an equal sign. And I'm sure we've already seen this before. So when we were naming our variables, so we had var my name is equal to, and then open your quotes, and then your name, close your quotes, semicolon. That equals is called an assignment operator, okay? And this is what you use to give your variable a value, right? So that's the first one. And then the other operators are things that I'm sure you all use at school. So that's division, subtraction, multiplication, and addition, okay? So I'm gonna hop back into the console. So I'm gonna stop sharing this. And if you girls could go back to your consoles as well, that would be good. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, great. So just as a quick reminder, you will come to the homepage here. So to get to your console, you're going to right click and then go to inspect. So if everyone could go to the console for me, that would be great. And you're going to want to go on up here to console, this tab. This is where I want you girls to work. Okay, I'm just going to clear that. Clear. Okay, so we're taking a look at math operators. Right, so I'll move this up. Okay, so like I said, the first one is the assignment operator. So we've seen that already. So like in the challenge you girls have just done, my age is equal to here, enter. So that equals is your assignment operator. You're giving your variable my age a value of your age, right? Okay, so that's the assignment operator. Next, we're gonna take a look at addition. So pretty simple. I'm sure you girls will find this easy, but still. So obviously you can do things like things that you would do maybe on a calculator, just like this, 5 and 5, 10, or there, and get your answer. But a cool thing you could do, which I actually found really interesting when I started to learn how to code, is you can give your variable a value. So you can say var a is equal to 5, okay? Don't forget your semicolons, those are really important. And here, that equals is our assignment operator. So now our variable a has a value of 5, right? So we're gonna enter, call it back. Let's see that value. That's 5, great. So we can also say maybe var b is equal to 10, semicolon, enter, call it back, b is 10. Okay, so here I've defined a variable a, which is equal to 5, variable b, which is equal to 10. And what I can go ahead and do is say a plus b, and then I get 15. So if you girls maybe want to try that, just because I think it's a good idea to code along. So if you want to try that and let me know if you can do that too. So let me clear my screen so it's a lot more easier for you to see. Actually, I'll go ahead into the console here. Right, clear. So I'm going to make a variable a, set that equal to 5 here. We have our assignment operator, the equals. Let me just get the chat open. I can't seem to, okay, never mind. Oh, there we go, chat, so I can see how everyone's doing. Oh, clear your consoles for anyone. Yes, okay. So yeah, so to clear your console, you're going to type clear, open bracket, close bracket, close. Let me just type that in the chat. So make sure to type this in your console if you want to clear it. Okay, so right, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do that again, and if you girls can maybe do it along with me to make sure you understand. So you're going to say var a, you're going to name a variable called a, and then that a needs to have a value, right? So we're going to say equal to 5 semicolon. So now a is equal to 5, right? Enter. And then we're going to name a variable. We're going to have a variable b, which is equal to 5 semicolon. So now you've assigned a value of 5 to a, and you've assigned a value of 5 to b. So that's what that equal sign does here. It gives it that value, okay? Enter. And now we want to do a plus b. So we're just going to type a plus b in the console, semicolon, enter. And you should have a value of 10.
Cool.
Okay, so I hope you girls were following along. Can you, yeah, sure, you can type it in the chat. And if you're having issues with that, if you're struggling, just let me know. So type in the chat or turn on your mic, because it's important, again, that you girls understand this at this stage. So yeah, actually, if you girls can just do what Aubrey has done, well done, and just type your answer into the chat, that would be good. So I know that you have got that. Maybe I'll go through it again. So I'm going to clear. Enter, cleared my screen. So I'm going to say var a is equal to, so assign it a value of 5, semicolon, var b is equal to 5, semicolon, and then we're going to say a add b, semicolon, is equal to 10. So can everyone put their answers in the chat?
Look at these.
Well done.
No problem, Kellen. It happens to all of us. Good job, y'all.
Well done, Kaylin. It looks like you girls are whizzing through this. This is really good. I'm very impressed. I know I struggled with this when I started, so you girls are doing a good job. Well done, Addison, Kaylin, Michaela, everyone. It looks really good. And just like we've done last time, if anyone needs some help, just type no in the chat, or just type that you need some help, or turn on your mic so I can help you out. Okay, I think I might be waiting for some more answers. I want to make sure everyone's taking part and everyone's understanding. So don't forget, once you've done this, to just type your answer in the chat and send that through. Okay. Right, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clear. Okay. Okay, so before I move on, is there anyone who needs some help?
You want to share, folks? Share.
You guys need help? You guys feel anything to do it?
Please mute. Please mute. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone need help before I move on? Well done, Evangeline. Okay. Right, so the next thing is really similar to what we just did. So we used addition, so we can do subtraction as well. So if I go ahead over to the console and just do the same thing, so we can do the exact same thing. We can use, let's use C this time. C is 20, semicolon. Var D is 10, semicolon. And then we can just do C minus D, semicolon, is 10. We can do the exact same thing with division. So we can say var X equals 100. Variable Y, assign that a value of 10. So that equals is our assignment operator, don't forget, semicolon. We can go ahead and say X divided by Y, semicolon, is 10. What else can we do? So we can do multiplication as well. So if I clear this again, clear, var A is 10, var B is 3, semicolon. I can go ahead and do A times B and get 30, okay? So I've shown you now how to assign. So we've spoken about how the equal sign is an assignment operator. So that means you are giving your variable, you're assigning your variable a value, right? Without that, your variable is empty. It doesn't equal anything. It's like if you have a basket and you don't put anything in it, that basket is empty. But when you put apples in it, or bananas or pears, that basket now has a value, right? It now has something inside it. It's the same as a variable. So just remember that when you have an equal, when you have an equals here, you're assigning a value. So that could be your number here or a string. You're assigning a value to that variable, right? Okay. So I've showed you the assignment operator, addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication, okay? So from what you girls have shown me in the chat, it looks like you have the hang of it. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is set you up with your next challenge. I hope you're ready. I hope you're all ready for this. Let me get it up. Okay. Oh, share. Should be this one. Okay. Just. Oh, this is not my presentation. 1 second, I'm having some. Right, okay, here we go. Okay, so before I move on and give you your next challenge, does anyone have any questions so far about what we've covered, what I've covered with math operators? Do you have any questions about the assignment operator, or let's look at the chat. Oh, Aubrey, do you need some help? No? Okay. So, okay, great. So does anyone have any questions about the assignment operator, division, subtraction, multiplication, or addition? Because if not, I'm gonna need you to do this challenge. So, okay. Right, okay, so challenge 2. This is just quick maths. I hope you girls will be able to do this. So the first one is I want you to create a variable X, which is equal to 40, and Y, which is equal to 10, and add those together. The next thing I want you to do is to create a variable A, which is equal to 20, and B, which is equal to 5, and do A minus B. And then the last thing I want you to do is to create a variable C, which is equal to 25, and D, which is equal to 5, and do C divided by D. So I want you to do the same thing. So do this in
Can
your
you show
console.
that?
Oh,
me?
yeah. Is it not?
No, it just says any questions.
Oh, sorry. I think, what is, okay, 1 second. Let me, this is, I thought it was see the chat so I can see your answers. So those are the 3 questions up there. I hope you can see them. And let's see, oh, would you like me to repeat? Okay. So the first thing I want you to do is to create a variable x equals 40 and y equals 10 and add those 2 together. And then the second thing I want you to do is to create a variable a equals 20 and b equals 5 and do a minus b and get the answer. And the third and last thing I want you to do is to create a variable c equals 25 and d equals 5 and do c divided by d. So all the answers that you get, I want you to paste those in the chat so I can see how you're doing. If you don't understand or you want me to help out, just type in the chat or turn on your mics and let me know. I want to make sure everyone can do this. Okay, well done, Bailey, Sharice, and Kellen. Okay, those are some good answers. Well done, Sharice. That's good. Okay, remember, if you need some help, well done, Kaylin, that looks good. If you need some help, just let me know. I just want to make sure that everyone is able to do this and everyone understands.
Look at you guys.
Well done. Well done, Kellen and Sharice. Those look good. Good job, Addison. That looks good as well.
Oh, you're funny.
Don't forget, girls, if there's anyone who needs some help, just type in the chat or turn on your mic so I know and I can help you. Well done, Kellen. That looks good. Okay, I'm sure we'll have time for our last challenge, so it should be good. Should be a good one. Okay, is everyone doing all right? I'm seeing some good answers here in the chat, but I feel like I might be missing some. I'll give you girls a few more minutes.
Didn't get a chance to welcome Aubrey. Welcome, Aubrey.
Welcome, Aubrey.
Are you coming back? Yay! right. We gotta get you a shirt. And anyone else who's first time here, if it's your first time, put your name in the chat. I think most of you guys at 12. We're done at 12, Bailey. We'll be done. Last Saturday was just one of those things. It was a camp. So yeah, it was long last Saturday, but no, I don't want to ever have something that long again. It was long last week.
Okay, so has everyone, okay, well done, Evangeline, that's good. I'll give you girls a few more minutes, that's okay. Well done, that looks good.
I'm confused where we're at the end. So I did both of my variables, but when it comes to adding, so you're supposed to do y plus x equals.
Yeah, so have you made your x variable?
Yes.
And you've made your y variable?
Yes.
Great, so then what I want you to do is add them together. So you'll just put, in your console, you just put x plus y, and then your semicolon, and click enter, and you should get the answer. Can you try that for me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Does anyone have any more questions? Because with the next challenge, it is, well done, Samaya, that looks great. Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, does anyone have any more questions? Just because the next challenge is quite similar, so it'd be good to know if you guys have any issues now, so I can help you with that before we move on. Well done, Bailey. Wow. Really
Look at
good.
this.
You girls are really, really getting the hang of this. It's good.
Okay, I did it. It worked. Thank you.
Great. Well done. Okay, I'll give it a few more minutes. Just make sure everyone can catch up. Okay. So I'll give a quick recap in case anyone's still working on some stuff. Actually, let me leave the questions up there just in case. Okay, I'm about to move on now. Is there anyone who needs to ask any questions, or if you're still working, do you want to let me know in the chat or turn your mic on so I know before moving on? Okay. Okay, so it looks like everyone's finished. Well done. Seen some really good answers today. Okay, so we've already had the break, that's fine. Okay, so just a quick recap before I move on. So we've learned, so far, we've learned that what variables are and how to use them. So we've learned about using integers and also text known as strings. So we know that unless the variable has an equals sign and ends in a semicolon, it isn't defined. So you haven't given that variable a value, right? Which means that you can't use it in your calculations, or you can't use it later on. Okay. We also know that when naming your variables, you should use camel case because then it's easier to read. And this camel case means the first letter of the word of your variable needs to be lowercase. The first letter of the second word needs to be uppercase, and then so on and so on. Okay. And we also know that we can use math operators like addition, subtraction, or multiplication, or even division on our variables, on our numbers within the variables, okay? So now we're gonna take a look at more operators. So I'm gonna show you how we can use operators with strings. I've shown you how we can do it with numbers, right? So we've done like a plus b, c divided by d, x divided by y, and so on. And now I'm going to show you how you can do it with text, right? Okay, so let me stop sharing here. And I'm going to take you to, where was it? There we go, back to the console. So if everyone can go to their console, please. Okay, great. So, okay, let me clear this. So let me show you how to do the same thing with strings. So what you could do, I might give this away because this is one of your next challenge questions. So you can do the same thing with strings. You can have a variable, say you went to a restaurant and you're ordering some food, right? You might have a drink and you want some orange juice, right? So you can say orange juice, semicolon, close it off. You might want some large fries. So you can say variable fries equals large fries, right? So now we have our drink, which is orange juice, and we have our fries, which are large fries. And if I want to put that all together in my order, what I can do is this. This is really neat. So you can say var my order is equal to drink, just like we were doing with a plus b, plus fries. And you can click enter, okay? And then we're gonna say, we're gonna call it back, order. It's like this. But do you notice in my answer, do you notice something that's not right? Can someone point it out for me in the chat?
It's a space.
Pardon?
There's not supposed to be a space and you have a space.
Exactly. So there needs to be a space. I'm just trying to. Yeah, exactly. There's no space. Well done. Okay, so this is how we put the space in. So you can do it one of two ways. So you can say, we can do this again. So let me clear my screen. We can say var drink is equal to, we can say orange juice. But before I put the quote, I do space like that, quote, semicolon, right? So you can see that space at the end of juice. And then we can go ahead and say var, I forgot what it was, fries is equal to large fries, right? Okay, so now we have that space at the end of juice. So now when we go ahead and say my order is equal to drink plus, yeah. Let me go ahead and call my order. It should give me orange juice and large fries, right? And I could go a bit more into detail and make it complex now, but I think it's good that you understand the basics. So did you girls understand that? I would like to give you your next challenge, because this is really similar to what I've already done with the challenge you girls already did. So when you did A plus B, C minus D, X divided by Y, it's a really similar thing, but just make sure you have a space at the end of your string here before you put that quotation mark, right? Or you can put the space before here, before this large fries if you want to. So can you just type yes if this makes sense and you understand it? Then I can give you your last and your final challenge. So just type, great, well done, Sharice, that's good, Michaela. If anyone doesn't understand, type no, and I'll go over it again. That's not a problem. That's great. Okay, that's good. So yeah, type no if you don't understand, and I'll go over it again. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I'm conscious of time here, so let me go on over to, I think this is it. Okay, and remember, I will be giving these slides, so you girls will be able to access these. Right. Can everyone see this? It doesn't matter if you don't finish it all, that's fine. Can everyone see this challenge on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So let me read out the first question. So I want you to create a variable called first name with your first name as a string in that, and then a variable last name with your last name as a string. And then I want you to make a variable called full name and then add your first name variable to your last name variable. So the same thing like I just showed you with the order, I want you to do that with your name. That's the first challenge. And then the second thing I want you to do is pretty much the same thing I've shown you now. So pretend you're ordering food from McDonald's, create a variable drink with your drink order. So that could be orange juice, like I showed you, and then create a variable burger. And then you can create your burger order. So that could be a chicken burger, a cheeseburger, whatever it is you like. And then a third variable, fries, pardon me. And in that variable, you can either have small fries, medium fries, whatever you want, that's fine. And then when you have your drink variable, your burger variable, and your fries variable, I want you to then add 3 of those together and save it in a variable called my order. Okay, so hopefully you girls can get this. I do think you can. You've done really well so far today. So see how far you can get in the last like 10 minutes of this. And same thing. So when you have your answer, just type it in the chat and send it so I can see how you girls are getting on. If anyone needs me to repeat that, or if you don't understand, just unmute yourself. So turn on your mic or write in the chat. And don't forget your spaces as well. Otherwise, your words will look how mine did at the beginning, and they'll be all bunched together. So don't forget your spaces as well when you are making your strings. And just type in the chat if you don't understand and you need some help. Well done, Addison. Don't forget that space. So you might need to go back and check. Okay, well done, Bailey.
Hot sauce on a burger?
These are some good answers.
Hot-
Okay.
What's fiery fries? What is that, Bailey? Can you
I wonder if it's
type
supposed to be
that?
Sprite.
Yeah,
Sprite
yeah,
fries?
Sprite.
Ew. Like you just, are you saying you put your fries in some Sprite? Is that what you're saying, Bailey? Where is Bailey?
Well done, Kellen, but don't forget your spaces. I can see that there's no
Fries
space
and
between your
ice
first and
cream.
last name. Well done, Lila.
You guys are making me hungry.
It definitely, because I haven't had breakfast yet. Layla, are you saying you dipped that in the ice cream? Oh my God. No, baby,
Yes,
no.
that's delicious. No, the fries in your ice cream and you eat it. That's fries and ice cream are the best combination. It's
Oh no.
That doesn't
But
sound
my
very
daughter does
appetizing.
that.
You either go to
No.
Wendy's or you go to McDonald's.
Yeah,
and
that
get
frosty, she
burger.
puts the fries in a frosty. That's nasty.
No, it's delicious.
That doesn't sound very appetizing.
No, it's the perfect combination of sweet and salty.
That is
I
true.
can
That's
so
true.
many other things that could be sweet and salty.
Sweet and salty.
Well done, Aubrey. Just don't forget your spaces. I can see with your answer there's no space in your name. So make sure you have those spaces in your string. So you can put a space at the end of your first name, Aubrey, there, and then a space at the end of Michelle, or a space at the beginning of Perry. But make sure you have some spaces in there. Okay, you girls don't have too long left, so let's see those answers in the chat. I want to see what you come up with. And do turn on your mic and ask for help if you need it as well. Well done, Ada. Looks good. Good job. Okay. Good job, Evangeline. You even have those commas in there. That's good. Good job, Ada. That looks good. You've got the space in there too. That's good. Don't forget your spaces, guys. Don't forget. Be nice to see some more answers. So, okay. Oh, side. I mean, good job, Kennedy. That looks good. Michaela. You girls are coming up with some really, really good answers. I'm impressed. This looks good. Sweet tea. Never had that before. Sounds nice. Good job, Kaylin. I can see you've got some commas in there as well. Good.
Oh my God, who said the bacon cheese? Oh my God, okay. Bacon cheeseburger. Okay, oh, y'all so wrong.
I did
Guys are
that.
making Miss Denethia very hungry.
I am. Look, this is what I had for breakfast this morning. Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its and a smoothie. Oh, I like strawberry lemonade too, Jody.
Yes, best drink in the world. The best place to get it is Outback.
It is. Really? Outback.
Or Cheesecake Factory.
Outback. Yeah, that's really good. Ooh, okay, what time is it? We have about 5 more minutes or so, Miss Temi.
Okay, I've seen some good answers. So I think just make sure, oh, Addison, that looks good, but just make sure you remember to put spaces. So after your my name variable, you'd put a space just before you close your quote. So you'd have Addison, so you'd have open quotes, Addison space, close quotes. So make sure you have that so you can, so you have spaces in between Sprite, cheeseburger, medium fry, all right? But the answers look good. I feel like now's a good time to wrap it up. But I really, really good job, Aubrey. I've seen that. Soda, large fries, plain double cheeseburger. Sounds good. Sounds yummy. Making me hungry. So good job, everyone. These are some really, really good answers, girls. I'm really proud of how far you've come from the beginning of this workshop till now. So you can keep sending your answers in the chat if you want, but I will give these, I will hand these slides over. So you will have the chance to practice some more if you didn't get the chance to do some of these, okay? So yeah, I will end it there. Yeah, so that's it. Well done, everyone. So just to recap what we've covered, we covered variables. So we covered integers and strings, and we also did some challenges. We then looked at math operators on integers and strings, and we did some challenges there as well. And then at the end, we kind of put everything together, and you girls came up with some really, really good answers, and I'm very impressed. So well done. You worked really hard. I'm very proud. Yeah, so show me a hand if you feel like you learned something today. If you learned something new, I'd like to see your hands. Great, that's good. That's good. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, I'll pass it over back to you.
Thank you so much, Miss Temi. Like, oh my God, that was so cool. I feel like I learned something today. I actually paid attention.
That's good.
Because I promise you, I kind of, let me stop recording. Yeah, this was so cool.